So the controversial constitutional amendment bill number 3 of 2026 that seeks, amongst other issues, to extend the term of office of the Zimbabwe parliamentarians, as well as Emerson Tambudzo Mnangagwa, is set to be introduced by next week, according to the Justice Minister and Parliamentary Affairs, that is Ziyambi. So the mind-boggling question is, will this bill sail through to the Parliament? We've been looking forward for this bill to be stopped, but nothing has been happening so far. Now it has reached the stage of being presented to Parliament. Does Zimbabweans have a savior who will come through to their aid? Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So I will play the video of the Minister of Justice and Parliamentary Affairs, that is Ziyambi, speaking about the current processes regarding the illegal constitutional amendment bill number 3 of 2026. Let's listen to Ziyambi actually speaking.
Like this, the portfolio committees have been looking at the submissions that were brought to Parliament, as well as what they gathered during public hearings. So they've been compiling their report, which will hopefully be done by this weekend. And once it's done, next week when we resume sitting, I will then introduce the bill for the first time. It being a constitutional bill, it's not referred to the Parliamentary Legal Committee, which would then allow me, if I am comfortable, to proceed to the second reading speech, where I will formally now unpack the bill to parliamentarians, explaining the provisions of the bill, the rationale, and opening up debate so that the various committees that undertook public hearings can then present their committee reports on what members of the public said, on what they also believe should be, the bill should be. And then after that, it will be opened to all the members of Parliament to debate, to proffer suggestions on clauses, what they think they should be like. And when all that debate is completed, I will then be able to respond to all the submissions. If there is need to adjust or to drop some clauses, I will then, in my closing speech, after the second reading speech, indicate if that consideration will be done before we then proceed to the committee stage. But it will depend on the debate, how it goes in Parliament, and hopefully we should be able to conclude the processes by end of June.
So Ziyambi has given us a picture of how they intend to go about this constitutional amendment bill number 3 of 2026, and also said that they hope to conclude parliamentary activities to legitimize this anti-people bill by the end of June. But also you should not be scared because this bill, they have actually given it numerous deadlines to no avail. So it depends on how Zimbabweans will act from now onwards until then. But obviously, ZANU-PF of Mnangagwa will have plans. And equally so, the people of Zimbabwe who are opposed to this illegal process. Also, I'm very certain they have plans on how to counter this illegal process that Mnangagwa is seemingly determined to continue with it, in spite of being warned by the citizens of Zimbabwe, even by the retired as well as also active service members within the military, senior members, so to speak, who are not just senior members of the military but also ex-combatants. They have made submissions to the parliament advising the parliament never to reverse the gains of the liberation struggle. That has been a clear and loud message to the Parliament of Zimbabwe. But remember, the Parliament is told what to do by the bedroom of Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. So the question is, will the bedroom of Mnangagwa listen? In fact, none other than the Parliament listen to the submissions that have been made by Zimbabweans. According to Ziyambi, the evaluation of the information that has been collected throughout Zimbabwe through public hearings, as much as those public hearings were not democratic, especially critics of this bill were systematically left out or were systematically silenced, and their voices, we know, they were actually systematically sidelined. So to think that this whole process leading to this stage has been including people, then it will be misunderstanding of what has been transpiring in Zimbabwe. The process has not been free and fair. The process has left out the views of numerous Zimbabweans because those who designed the process, they designed it in such a manner that Zimbabweans would actually be left out. So there is likely also hope that going forward, as Ziyambi was suggesting, that if there are actually suggestions on what should be done with this bill, he will consider it and maybe consider taking down some of the clauses. We will wait to see. But well, I know ZANU-PF may do so because there are clauses that have been opposed by, I remember, some ministers in ZANU-PF, as well as also Women's League in ZANU-PF, like taking out the gender commission. And this may have been a strategy to Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa and those who came out with the bill to say, let's include these issues which are of less significance in terms of the broader picture of the bedroom of Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, so that we give out the impression to the Zimbabweans that we listened to the submissions that were made, and those who made sense were able to actually take out some of the things that the members of the public spoke strongly on. But there were some issues which, as much as they were opposed, but those who were supporting these issues outnumbered those who did not support these issues. So they will try by all means to make this process appear legitimate. And we know that the process, as well as the bill, is illegal. The bill is unconstitutional, but we have a political party that runs, that has systematically put individuals in strategic state institutions that at this moment should be playing a very key and a critical role in defending the rights of the people. But these institutions would not come to play because of the people who are actually operating them. In fact, they are loyal to the system rather than to the constitution of the land, as well as also to the majority people of Zimbabwe. So we don't expect and anticipate, in my view, even if there are changes that would be made or remedies that would be actually put in place following democratic steps, we will see then a constitutional amendment, Bill number 3 of 2026 being considered. I don't foresee that. Remember, these people, there is a court challenge. Already they appear to know what the direction that the court may arrive at. They appear to be actually aware of this, and they are giving dates as well as deadline. So if they miss it in June and July, then this whole CAB.3, then it would be rendered a non-starter. It has to be thrown in the bin. So that's why Ziyambi is giving the deadline. So the month of June is going to be very, very busy. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. I'm coming very soon in spite of the voice. I'm actually struggling today with my voice.